What's up, people? Welcome back, and how are you? I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. So today I really want to spend a little bit of time and reflect on this year as we are coming to an end of 2022. This year was full of plenty of ups and plenty of downs, and like many of you, I have had some great days, I've had some good days, I've had some neutral days, and I've also had some bad days and some really bad days. But I think that's part of going through a year, is feeling all of these different things, going through all of these things. And I think there are positives and negatives to both. I think there are learning lessons to having good days. I think there are learning lessons in having bad days as well. A topic I really want to talk about, and hopefully I'm able to articulate it in a way that is understandable and I can kind of talk about it. It has to do with having bad days in particular. And I know that I'm a big proponent on talking about anxiety and talking about depression, all the things that aren't really talked about too often in this space. And it's something that I like to talk about a lot because it's something I deal with pretty often. And the one thing I want to talk about is when we are having a bad day, we feel that it's so monumental. It is the only thing that we think about at that moment. And that could be, many different things. Anxiety about not getting work, anxiety about the work you are doing and not living up to the expectations that you set for yourself, a family issue, a relationship issue, a health issue. You aren't meeting the goals in the gym that you set. There are so many different ways that you can kind of spark anxiety a little bit. We put so much pressure, we put so much thought, we put so much anxiety into a bad day, or we get anxious at the thought of something that may never happen. And a lot of the times, what we are so anxious about and what we are anticipating happening, a lot of the times doesn't really come into fruition. It doesn't really happen the way that we anticipated it. So a lot of the times the anxiety that we feel, the worrying, is just wasted energy. And today's video is all about reflection and the goals that I reached and accomplished in 2022. And the reason why that relates to what I just talked about is because we put so much pressure on the day that we forget about the big picture. We forget about the good days that we had. We forget about the productive days that we have. So taking all of those things and looking at your year in a zoomed out lens puts into perspective what you actually accomplished this year. Looking at this list here of goals that I set for myself on January 1st, 2022, in hopes that I would be able to accomplish most, if not all, of these goals by the end of this year. And being able to give yourself some time to reflect on these goals that you set and what you have accomplished will really put into perspective that the little things, the days that didn't need the pressure, didn't need the worry, the days that you didn't need to beat yourself up for relaxing or wanting to be lazy for a day. Putting into perspective what you've done this year will hopefully help you reevaluate your life, hopefully will help you reevaluate how you look at yourself on a daily basis. And I know that, again, I'm not perfect. I know I'm learning, but these are things that I have noticed to help me overcome anxiety on a daily basis and not put so much weight on a given day, and allow myself a little bit of flexibility, a little bit of wiggle room, because I know that I am accomplishing my goals. I am moving forward. And even if it's at a small percentage a day, I'm moving forward. So my hope for today is for you guys to take away a few things from this video. The first is how I structure my goals. And there's a particular way that I write my goals, and I hope that you can understand why I do that. The second goal for me, for you guys in this video, is for you to see your value and growth this year. My third goal is to show you guys that I am also not perfect. I fail. I did not accomplish some of the goals that I set for myself. And I just want to make sure that you guys know that even though I did not accomplish certain goals, it did not deter me from accomplishing other ones, and it does not deter me from wanting to accomplish these goals that I failed this year and accomplish them next year. So let's start looking at some of the goals I set for myself and start reflecting on this past year. All right, so I divided my 2022 goals in 3 different sections. The first one is short-term goals and daily goals. Second is long-term goals and bigger picture goals. And the third is financial goals. Goal number 1 for me, I will keep a consistent morning schedule, which consists of allowing at least an hour and a half for me time before any work has to be done, journal, meditate, stretch, and minimal phone social media activity. So looking at that real quick, I'd say that I did a very good job at accomplishing this goal this year. Of course, I had some slip-ups and I wasn't able to give myself the me time I wanted. There were days where I didn't journal. There were days where I didn't read. But if you go look at my journal, which I might make a video about, I've written in that journal every single day, minus maybe about 25 days throughout the year. So I made sure that was a very consistent part of my morning routine, regardless of how long I had. I made sure that I wrote in that journal every morning. Meditating is something that I didn't do very well this year. It's something I did every so often, but it wasn't something that I did consistently. Stretching is something that I do very consistently, even though I don't do it per se in the morning. I'll do it at the gym or I'll do it at night. And minimal phone and social media activity, I am questionable at this, to be honest. Some days I'm very good at not using my phone at all, and some days I literally just can't get my eyes off my phone. So that's something that I need to work on. But I would say for this first goal, I definitely made a lot of progress this year. Next one, I will plan my next day the night before. Load calendar with to-dos, work needs, and non-work needs. This I am very consistent with. I am a big believer in a calendar, and I fill my calendar usually with things that need to be accomplished, small, medium, large, and I color code everything, and I'm pretty consistent with my calendar. I will be more present, enjoy the present, be patient, but continue to work. From 2021 to 2022, I'd say there is a drastic difference in my level of patience and my ability to be more present in the moment. I made it a point to make sure that whenever I feel as though I'm not being present, I recognize that and try to be more present. So I think I did accomplish that this year, and I did a lot better this year than I did last year. I will practice gratitude for the gifts I am given. I think I did this very well, and I think in a lot of YouTube videos in particular, I talk about gratitude a lot, and I think this is something that has helped keep me grounded and also keep me present as well. I will grow closer to God and find a church in Philly. So at time of writing this, I lived in Philly. I don't anymore, but I do think that I have grown closer in my faith, and I actually did find a church in my local area. I will be a good son, friend, boyfriend, and neighbor. I think that I am all of these things. I think I've gotten better at them, and boyfriend ended up becoming fiance, so I think that's a good thing. I will be more stoic. I'm a big fan of the philosophy of Stoicism. I've been reading about Stoicism for a while now, and I think that my persona, my personality, the way that I carry myself has been more stoic, more calm, and I like to think of myself as a listener, and I think I've done better this year in terms of keeping calm and listening more than speaking. I will become mentally stronger to overcome negativity. 100% I've gotten better at this. I am not perfect. I still fail, but I think that, again, comparing myself to 2021, I have done a much better job at controlling my mind and being able to understand why my mind is feeling a certain way, and then shifting my mindset to a different thought. All right, so those are my short-term goals and daily goals. I'd say that for majority of those, I accomplished a lot, again, with some wiggle room in between. It's important to look at your year and understand that it may not be perfect, but the key is that you kept it more consistent and you didn't give up when you lost the perfection. Next, long-term goals, bigger picture goals. I will become a more established freelance cinematographer. I definitely feel like I accomplished this goal this year. I worked really, really hard this year to make my name well known in the Philly tri-state area, as well as just the country. So I think that this was something that I accomplished this year. I will travel for at least 10 DP jobs this year. I did do that. I accomplished that, and I surpassed 10 this year. I will work with at least 5 new directors this year on creatively fulfilling projects. I don't think I actually accomplished this goal. I worked with a lot of the same directors that I've worked with, again, on nicer projects, bigger projects, more creative projects. I did work with a few new directors, but at the same time, I didn't meet the goal of 5, I believe. I will grow Bulbworks into a new business, increase social media presence, get more DP work, define what this business looks like, sell and acquire the right gear. So when writing this goal in 2022 at the beginning, Bulbworks was my idea of my G&E rental house company. I have since nicked that idea and not gone through with the idea of starting another business venture in the rental industry. So even though this was a goal for me, I shifted this business idea into a different idea for what I wanted to produce for my van. And even though it wasn't exactly how I wrote it down, I'm still happy with what I accomplished this year with my rentals and my van in particular. I will become more well known in the Philly area as a DP. Going back to the first goal, I definitely think I accomplished this year. I will grow my YouTube channel to 7,000 subscribers this year. That one for me is really important because at the time of recording this, I am surpassing 18,000 at this time. So to essentially double what I set my intended goal to be is truly phenomenal. And this is one of my biggest accomplishments this year. And that's all thanks to you guys. I will continue to teach and work with students and people who really want to learn. I think that I have accomplished this, especially through my YouTube channel, through my Discord room, and even through DMs that people have asked. I'm always willing to help and be able to provide feedback when I can. And I think that I'll get better at doing this and answering more people. But I think I have an innate ability to want to teach, and I think that I did that very well this year. I will become better at separating work from home. This is something that I did way better this year. Again, I'm not perfect, and even when I'm at home just doing stuff, I do think about work a lot, and I think that's natural and I think that's normal. But compared to 2021, where all I did was focus on work and worry about work, this year I was way more present. I was able to spend more time with my fiance in a better and healthier way. So I think that this is something that I grew this year, definitely. I will finish 22 books in 2022. By the time of January 1st this year, I will have completed 22 books this year. I will apply for a yoga instructor course by the end of this year. This has been on my list for like 2 years now, and I have yet to even try to do this. I always want to be a yoga instructor, but at the same time, I just feel like I'm overdoing it and I'm not going to have the time I'm just not going to do it the way that I want. And I'd rather just focus on yoga as a practitioner. So no, I did not accomplish that. Financial goals. So I will surpass in gross income this year. I did not reach that goal. I missed it by a slight little bit, but I'm still proud that I grew this year financially. Every year for the past 4 years, I've grown substantially in income. So I'm very proud of that as well. Even though I didn't accomplish this goal, I'm very proud with how much I did make this year. I will have at least 2 to 3 streams of income by 2023. And this is true. I do have some different streams of income by this time, and some of which aren't exactly where I want them to be, but they are providing income and they are providing seeds of where I know that they can be in, say, a year or 2 from now. I will grow closer to becoming debt-free. Boom. This is my biggest accomplishment this year by far. I paid off my student loans, paid off all of my credit card debt. Everything, I am completely debt-free. My fiance is debt-free. So we, as a couple together, are officially debt-free. I will continue to actively put money away into my various accounts. IRA, crypto portfolio, emergency fund, individual savings account, tax account. This is something that I did regularly. This is something that I do often. And this is something that I am very consistent with, is dividing my money into certain accounts and then being able to divide these accounts for what is essentially needed. So this is something that I did very well in 2021, and I did even better in 2022. I will practice tithing. So I did this year donate a lot more money. I gave more money away this year. I definitely did better this year, not where I wanted to be or not where I set my intention to be, but definitely better than 2021. So those are my goals that I set for myself at the beginning of 2022, and I accomplished a lot of them, and I did not accomplish a few, and some of them I accomplished a little bit, not as much as I wanted, but at the same time, again, like I said, I'm not perfect, but the key is to keep going. The key is not to give up once you lose that little bit of perfection that you are striving for, because we're not perfect. As long as you keep consistent, you keep going, that's really the name of the game. The other thing I want to note is how I structure my goals. The way that I write my goals is I will keep consistent. I will do this. Instead of saying growing my subscribers to 7,000, it doesn't really have a forceful impact for me. But when I say I will grow this, for me is a kind of harsh reality of like, oh, you have to do this. It's a reminder for me that I have these goals that need to be accomplished. So hopefully you found some benefit in today's video. Hopefully you got to get a better understanding of how I structure my goals, how I write them, and what I was able to do this year. And hopefully you're able to take away a little note noting that when you take a zoomed out lens at your entire year, the small bad days that you put so much weight, so much anxiety, so much pressure on, in reality don't make that much of a difference in an entire year. So take this moment, take this time as we are about to close 2022 to reflect on your year. Take this time to see the growth that you made. Even if it's a small amount of growth, you did grow. And even if you don't think so, I can almost guarantee you did. If it's not as an artist, if it's not as a business person, it's you as a person. You grew as a human being. You grew as a friend, grew as a son, as a daughter, a mother, whatever you are, you grew in some way. So take that into account. Honor that and be proud of what you did, and don't put so much weight on the bad days. And that's something that I'm going to be practicing, and I'm going to set a goal for myself in 2023. So have a great day, everyone. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button, like, comment, share with a friend, and hopefully I will see you next time. Have a great day and peace out.